When I was a boy, our family's dog was a Cocker Spaniel. My father named him Clipper, after Joe DiMaggio, the Yankee Clipper. Like many people from northern New Jersey, my father was a dyed-in-the-wool Yankees fan. How I became a Met fan is a whole other story. But in those days, in the 1950s, at least up on the North Shore, dogs were allowed to run free. And so Clipper came wherever I went, and we were best buddies. But from time to time, he would get me into trouble in this way. My mother had a school bell, and when she wanted me home, because it was dinner time, or because I hadn't finished my homework, or because there were chores to do, she would ring the bell. Immediately, Clipper would head off for home. That made it very difficult for me to pretend that I didn't hear it. I realize I'm the only young boy who didn't pay attention to his parents from time to time. All of you here, of course, do. Sometimes even we would really be out of hearing range, or the wind would be blowing in the wrong direction, but of course, as you know, dogs have much more sensitive hearing than human beings, and so even if I didn't hear it, I would immediately see Clipper take off. Not only that, but after he got home, and he turned around and realized that I wasn't right behind him, Spaniels, as you know, are fetchers. Well, he would come back, find wherever I was, sit there and stare at me until I finally gave in and followed him on the way home. He taught me the need for people to teach us how to listen, how to hear the various bells that ring in our lives. Advent is a time for listening. One of the ways in which we seek to prepare the way of the Lord is by opening our hearts, opening the ears of our hearts more and more to hear God's voice. And so very often, we need people or events in our lives to help us listen better. For Mary, it was Gabriel. For each of us, it can be different people who are very close to us, or people even that we just meet. Or it can be things that we read, or it can be things that happen to us, different ways in which God is trying to say to us, I am speaking with you. I am challenging you. I am offering you hope. I need you to listen. I need you to recognize this John the Baptist, this prophet whom I have sent into your life to help you to listen in that kind of way. Because God indeed wants to continue to build the kingdom and needs us to work with the Spirit of God to bring about this world of justice, of integrity, of love, of forgiveness, of understanding, of peace. And if we don't listen, and if we're not allowing ourselves to listen to the various prophets whom God sends into our lives, we're not going to be able to work with God in that. Sometimes that prophetic message comes to us very directly through the church. We offered last week the little blue books, and I know many of you find them helpful. But there are also at times things like parish missions or other programs that can help us listen more deeply. And one of those we're going to be doing here this coming Lent and Eastertide. It's a program called Alpha, like the first letter in the Greek alphabet. It's a program that has been very successful in many parishes around the country and indeed the English-speaking world, and has been very successful in our own diocese. When I say successful in this sense, there are actually 8 weeks. You're going to say to yourself, he's actually expecting us to come to something for 8 weeks in a row? Most of the parishes, in fact all of the ones that I know of, that have had the Alpha program, The same number of people are there at the 8th week and at the first. And as I think you know, that never happens in church activities. But it shows how powerful this program can be. It's very simple, actually. We gather each of the evenings to share a meal together that helps build a sense of community, a sense of relationship with one another as a parish. We then will listen to a 20-minute video, and then break up into different tables, about 10 people each, to discuss that. Sounds very simple. Sounds like, well, what's so new about that? And yet, the questions, the issues that the videos raise, about who we are, about where we're going, about what the Lord can mean to us, about how we can better be a community together, these are things that in many strong ways have helped people to grow in their own faith. Some of the parishes that have done this, I was at the 8th evening at St. Bernard's in Levittown. They had 140 people. Again, and they had the same 140 at the 8th night as at the beginning. We're a much smaller parish, and actually we're inviting St. Mary's to join us in this, so that we're inviting people from both parishes to come to this. I'd like just to read you a response to it. This is from Father Jerry Riggenbach, who's the pastor of Good Shepherd Parish in Holbrook, where they also had the Alpha program. Now, he did not write this as an invitation to people to come. He wrote this as a report of what had happened in his parish. Alpha can spark a deeper level of faith and a richer personal relationship with Jesus Christ and what it means to be his disciple. Our faith can grow dormant. Our church practice can become routine. There are moments when we sense a need for more, and Alpha can meet that need. Alpha is also meant to reach the unchurched. Those who have found Alpha a rich opportunity to deepen faith can be the means of teaching the hearts of family members and friends and invite them to share in the Alpha experience. So if you're on the fence about Alpha, come to the first night, take the leap of faith. You won't crash land. You'll come to a beautiful place of faith. I'm mentioning this now because it will involve a bit of preparation for us to be able to do this. But as I say, we're not going to be doing it till Lent. 4 weeks in Lent, 4 weeks in Eastertide. I would hope, but I should say, in January, we will be having a kind of test evening that you might be able to come then for the dinner, the first of the videos, and the conversation to see if this is something that you would want to come to during Lent and Easter, or invite other, perhaps unchurched people to come to. I think it will be for us, as it has been for so many other places, a very valuable experience. But let me conclude by going back to the wider topic of listening well and just raising 3 questions. First, what is the most recent way in which God has challenged you in one way or another to grow more? And if there haven't been any ways in which you felt that challenge, why not? Maybe it's because you're perfect, that you don't even need to be here. But for all the rest of us, we do. Second question. Who have been the John the Baptists in your life, the Angel Gabriel, the Clipper, the Cocker Spaniel in your life, who have helped you to listen better to the call of God? And third, then, during this time of Advent, what are the ways in which we can seek to open our hearts more to that call? so that we can hear the gentle and yet challenging voice of Christ and his Spirit within us as we seek to work with God in bringing about the kingdom of God.